YouTube, good morning or good night. Welcome back to the channel. Glad to have you. So this is just a follow-up for my previous video where I went over some of my games and some of my retro games, to be specific. And today I'm going to show you some of my retro consoles. Thank you to everybody for commenting and liking my last video. I appreciate y'all for just watching, I'm glad that somebody has similar interests and enjoys, the things that I have to talk about, because I enjoy talking about them. So shout out to the gaming community. But so let's just get into this. So the first game I'm going to talk about is my all-time favorite, and that is the PlayStation 1. So the PlayStation 1, this came out in Japan around '94, December '94, and we got it here in North America the following year in September, so '95, and it retailed for $2.99. So very basic. Reset button, power button, and your open button. Very simple. It works. Don't mind how filthy it is. This is my original console from when I got it, like as a kid. So, so memory card slots, 2 controller ports, and for those of you who are not old enough to know what a memory card is, this is a memory card. This is for a PS2, but I have a PS1 memory card somewhere. But basically, you just slide this in here, and it holds your data. So it's your save game, and you can't save the game without this. And if you can tell the difference in games now, because this one's only 8 megabytes. 8 megabytes. Just think how crazy that is. What Call of Duty Warzone is like 120 gigs. That's crazy. So, then the back, you just have your serial board, which is for like LAN cable connecting to another console, and your AV out, and your AC for the power cord. Like I said, one of my all-time favorite console, probably just, for nostalgia reasons. If you've ever started that thing up and you know that sound it makes, crazy goosebumps every time. So I also have the PS1 model of this. This is the PlayStation 1, but I also have the PS1, which is smaller. It's just basically smaller. It came out in 2000, and I never had it as a child, but somehow I got one along the way. Moving on. Our next console is the PS2. Now, this thing is bulky. I'm talking about this thing got gains. This is a big boy. Now this is essentially the same. You get 2 memory card slots, 2 controller ports. Cool little feature. This little thing twists your PlayStation logo. You can twist that because you could stand it up or you can lay it down, whichever orientation, which was pretty neat. You got your eject button and your reset/power button. And on the back, we got our power switch. And then the power cord, AV out. And I bought this hard drive. As it was just an external hard drive. I bought this down the line, like years later. I wouldn't say I bought it solely for the purpose of playing online, but I don't actually remember what else it done, if it did anything. So, but yeah, I think at that point the online aspect of the PS2 lifespan was just kind of dead. So I kind of just wasted my money, I think. I think this thing was like $80. So, yeah, and this guy also had a DVD player, so that was a big selling point for the PS2, which, the competitors didn't have. GameCube, Dreamcast, and that original Xbox. Okay, let's be quiet as we can, putting that back. Alright, so next, let's just go ahead, pull out the PS4. So, different design with the PS4. I didn't have a PS3. That's why we're skipping it. I never owned a PS3. I went from PS2 to 360 for the simple fact that the 360 was more affordable at like $199, I think it was, and the PS3 came out around like $500. So yeah, it just wasn't enough. I wasn't getting that for Christmas. So PS4, we have our power button. Your eject button, and your tray is here. And then we have our 2 USB ports. And in the back, you have your power cable, aux port, the HDMI out, and a port for a LAN cable. And yeah, so the PS4 launched in North America in 2013, November 2013. And then pretty much the rest of the world got it in February of the following year, which I thought was interesting because I thought Japan always got it, first. Definitely a more sleek design. There's like a square shape. I love the detail they put in the buttons all around it. Thought that was pretty neat. But yeah, this guy initially $399. So I actually bought the PS4 late in its life cycle. Pretty late. I didn't want one for the longest, and then I kind of got back into gaming, and I was like, you know what? I need to get a PS4. So that's what happened. Alright, next we're gonna go to, so I have two 360 models here. I just set them both here for, whatever aesthetic reasons. So this one is the S. This was the second revision, and it's just S is for slim. So it is the smaller model, but this is the model that I got when they came out. So it's the original model. I'm not even gonna pick this up because I already know it is creaky. It's heavy, and if I pick it up, it's just gonna make a lot of noise. So we're gonna leave that guy right there. Got your eject button, power button, they got the red ring, which was the big problem, which is why they revised it. And then they also have the Xbox 360E, which was the third revision, which I actually didn't even really know about. But anyway, so this console was released in 2005, I think, in late 2005, and it came out with the original model for $399, and then the core model for $299, which is this one, and it basically just had less, a smaller hard drive. So yeah, memory card was a must with this. I remember when I got it, I had Gears of War, and I had to leave my console on till I beat the game for like probably 5 days before I could get a memory card, because I didn't have money, and you know, I had to beg my parents to buy me a memory card. So yeah, so I was like, you know what, just leave it on. So anyway, that was a good time in my life. 360 days, a lot of fun, a lot of Halo 3, a lot of Call of Duty, World at War, Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Yeah, good times. So, by the way, these kids today, I'm gonna just say, you kids today, you would not survive in those lobbies back then. COD lobbies back in the day were a whole nother level of just mental abuse. Like, you gotta be, y'all wouldn't, you don't understand. Just YouTube it. Just YouTube like COD lobbies, early 2000s, whatever. So next we're gonna go with the NES. So once again, I don't want to pick this up, but I feel like it's a little less creaky. Okay, well, we're good. We're cooking, brother. Alright, so this is the Nintendo Entertainment System, also known as the NES, and this was my first console ever. I got this when I was, I'm not gonna lift it up, I got this when I was a little bitty. I don't remember how old I was, I just remember playing it at my, playing it with my uncle and my aunt at my grandma's house, and going home and saying I need one. So I think for like Christmas I got one. Now this guy came out in 83 in Japan as the Famicom, and later they put it out for North America as the NES, but that was not till 95. So yeah, big deal. Actually, I don't know if that's right. 83 and 95, that's a long time. Maybe it's 85. Probably a typo. Anyway. So this guy came out in 83 for Japan as the Famicom, and later came out in North America as the NES. So it came out around $180, and I mean, we all know the games. So you get your power button, reset, do controller slides. There's the cartridge, where the cartridge will go. You gotta blow in that, no diddy. And then we got our audio and video ports, as well as your AC adapter. And then this, y'all probably don't know about this, my younger audience. This is how you would change what channel you wanted to play on. So you had to be on channel 3 3 or 4? Like, did everybody not have a 3 or a 4? Interesting. But, yeah, I mean, everybody knows the classic games. Duck Hunt, Mario, Tetris, Zelda, Excitebike, classics. This is an 8-bit console. Now, alright, now let's get to the SNES. Actually, first, let's go with the Game Boy. Specifically, Game Boy Pocket. Sorry about that. This is Game Boy Pocket, so this came out later in the life of the Game Boy. The Game Boy came out in '89 after the NES, so this one came out '96, I think. And it is basically, I mean, I have a Game Boy too. I don't have it within reach. I don't know where to, honestly. But, yeah. The Game Boy was probably twice as big and way big, like wider, and probably like 3 pounds heavier. This thing barely weighs, I don't know, not many ounces. Probably like, actually, I don't know, maybe half a pound. It's very, very, very light. And the perk of this was you can fit it in your pocket easier. So it's very simple. You got your volume and your button, left, right, up, down, A, B, and your select and start. And the bag is where you put your AAA batteries, and then your cartridge will go right here. On off. Classic, man. I put a lot of hours and time into this. Like a lot of miles went into this in the backseat of my parents' car. So next we're gonna go to the Super Nintendo, also known as the SNES. So this guy also came out as the Super Famicom in Japan in 1990, and we got it in North America in '91. It came out as the Super Nintendo. So this one was like $199 when it came out. So $200, not too bad. It's fairly good condition. So you got your reset button. You slide that up. Now we got our power button. That's gonna be loud. I'm not gonna do that. So you pull it down, push it up for the power. Then you got your check button, which you just push this in, and it pushes the mechanism in here. That pushes it out. And 2 controller slots as usual. Then you got your multi-out, your AV out, and your power cord, and your RF out too. There's actually this number on the back that you can call for installation, maintenance, and service, which is pretty cool. I wonder what happens if you call that number now. Yeah, there's no telling. But this one was a big success, big seller, largely popular reviews, globally successful. It was the Genesis that it was competing with. Now the Genesis, when they had a little ongoing, just gonna say feud, I guess, because they claimed that they sold more consoles, but Nintendo claimed they sold more. into it, studied in 2014, come to find out that the SNES actually outsold the Genesis by like 1.5 million units. So they were capping, but that was, marketing. So next, we'll go to our Nintendo 64. One of the coolest Nintendos, in my opinion, that I never actually had as a child. I only got to play it at my cousin's house. So this big gap right here is where you put your power brick. And then we got our multi-out, AV out. And this one has 4 controller slots, as well as your reset button and your power switch. And then there's a memory expansion little compartment right here that I never touched. Do not remove jumper pack. Okay, whatever you say, Japan. And this is where your cartridge will go, obviously. Yeah, just that was loud. I didn't even know this was down here. Huh. Interesting. Never knew that was there. Okay, so the 64 was released in '96 in Japan. So we got it the same year, a few months later in North America, and it started at $199. Kind of interesting how everything was, $200 back then. Which I guess, with inflation is probably not much different than what we are paying now. Speaking of, is anybody getting the new Switch? The Switch 2? As soon as I can find one, I'm probably going to get one. But that might be a while. We'll see. I wouldn't mind doing some gameplay, show you all a little bit when I get one. So, moving on to our last console. If it's not stuck. Okay, we got it. We got it, brother. It is dusty. Okay, so the last console that I have to show you, it's one of my favorites. It's the Sega Genesis. Now, there are many different versions of the Sega Genesis, or the Genesis, I should say. But this one is the one I always had. And it's a very different design, very different take on the console market at the time. This was kind of sold as a more aggressive game, whereas the Nintendo's, family games basically. This one had Mortal Kombat. This one we got into. What else we have? Sonic, big seller, biggest seller probably. Mortal Kombat, Donkey Kong, Street Fighter. Shout out to M. Bison off the top rope. Street Fighter was the first game I ever had on this, so it's kind of symbolic that I got a tattoo. But we got our power button. We got our reset button. We gotta clean this guy. This thing is disgusting. And then just got your AV out, power cord, and another number to call if you need help. We should definitely call these numbers. And yeah. But actually, when this released, it released the week after Super Mario Bros. 3 came out. So it kind of didn't get any recognition at the time, even though I think it did sell. The initial I can't remember how many copies it sold that were sent out. After that, I don't think it sold too good, even though it did outsell the SNES for 4 Christmases in a row overall. But it did come out. I don't know. It did do well, but not nearly as well as the Super Nintendo. So, yeah, still one of my favorites. And you know, I say it's one of my favorites, but sometimes I'll go plug it up and I go to play something, and then I realize, like, I don't really like that many games on this console as much as I just like the idea of playing on my kid. It's just a memory, nostalgia. So, we also have a Switch, but you know, that's not really a retro. I just thought it looked cool. So, anyways, that's all I got to show y'all today. I hope this was relaxing for you, and yeah, appreciate you watching. Go and leave a comment, tell me what else you want to see, and I'll see you in the next one.